Hi, I'm Sasha,
Hi, I'm Kirsten.
and this is Mess Magnets.
We're back, baby.
Yes, we made it. Better late than never. But here we are. And listen, hello, everyone. Wake up because we are on YouTube for this one.
Boom, baby.
We did our faces. We look presentable. You're all welcome.
Yeah, it takes a lot. Normally, this is the thing.
Yes.
People, whenever we do like a YouTube, people love it. They're like, yay, YouTube.
Yeah.
We can talk about it in the comments. We can have a conversation, which is great. We love that too. But then the downside to that is like generally when we record Mess Magnets, we're in what I like to call hag mode.
Yes.
And that doesn't work with a video podcast.
So all of this to say, not to get many compliments that we're pretty, but it's more to say that if you're finding us on YouTube for the first time, or maybe you only listen to us when we're here on Rob Has a Podcast YouTube channel, we are a weekly podcast and we are almost always on. We talk about everything topical, everything going on in the world. And if you're confused about why something is trending, you need to be checking out Rob as a website /mess feed because that's where we're talking about it. A lot of people were confused about Ice Spice. I did the research, y'all. Okay. I put the info together so that all us older millennials and older, whatever, can get hip with these youths.
Don't ever say that again. Don't.
Yeah, I did it on
ever say that
purpose. I
again.
knew it was cringe. Guys.
That
Please.
was so horrible. I do want to say last time we were pretty down. We were like, where's the reviews? We asked for reviews. And we did get a tweet from Wednesday All Weekend who said, oh, dang, I reviewed on Podcast Addict and y'all didn't see it. So they then sent a screenshot and said, it says, listening to Kirsten and Sasha and or their fabulous guests is always a highlight of my week. I would be so out of the loop without them. Even when they discuss something I'm not initially that interested in, they get me into it because I love their dynamic so much. I only wish I hadn't blocked out so much mess from my earlier years so I could submit an anonymous. If I ever have therapy and bring these things back up, I promise to send them in. Listen to this amazing pod now.
Period. Okay, so if we're meeting you for the first time, welcome. You are now a messenger. In case you knew or didn't know, I don't know. But here we are. And it's a really fun time. This is a vibes only podcast. Don't take us serious unless we tell you to. Okay.
We'll take us like a little serious, but we'll also tell you when not to.
Yeah, just like this is an unserious, serious podcast. Maybe that's what we should say. But we do a good amount of like research. This isn't just like a here's what we're feeling. We do research if we don't know something, and we like to get all the tea about everything. So we talk about, I don't know, anything you can think of, we're talking about it. I just got asked by Akiva to do some research on sports. So we have sports tea that ends up here. Just all right, y'all. The point is, you should be checking out Mess Magnets. And now I'm done with my elevator pitch that was 3 minutes long.
So, and we're on it right now. So you're here. Yes. You made it.
Yes. So let's get started because I'm really excited to talk about this one. I don't know if you are, but it's fine. Okay. The Rob Has a Podcast Rob Has a Podcast Facebook group has been buzzing with this show. And we said, just hold on because we're coming. All right. We're coming. We're talking about it. And of course, our first mess is the secret lives of Mormon wives.
And okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna like get into the spirit. I'm gonna talk about everything, but first I just have one thing to say.
No, you have to say it. Yeah.
And I'm sorry. These women are all horribly boring. It's so boring. Like I get all the stuff that's happening is like wild if you're like a Mormon in Utah. So it's like, okay, I get it. It's wild like for their lives, but in general, like it's boring. The drama is silly. There's just no reason for them to be so dramatic about every little thing. And I watched all damn 8 episodes and I still can't tell half the women apart.
Oh, well,
I know which one is Jen.
Yes. You do? You know which one's Jen and which one's Jen? Demi,
I could
that's crazy.
I can recognize which one is Jen. Wait, is
Oh,
Jen
Jen
not the one I'm thinking
Affleck.
of? Yeah,
Yes,
I can
yes.
tell who
Oh,
Jen Affleck
sorry.
is.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the other two. The thing is, y'all, okay, I don't think Kirsten's wrong. I personally just have this is what I texted her too. Have like an unnatural like fascination, allegiance, as Cat Williams said, whatever you want to call it, to these like fundamental Christian groups. Like I don't know how to explain it. I find them very
Yeah,
fascinating.
but
I
they're
don't
not
get
even doing
Duggars
the
literally didn't
fundamental.
do nothing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you watch 19 Kids and Counting, it was just them going grocery shopping.
Mhm. But
That's
like at
nonsense.
least that is like a genuine glimpse into something that's different. These are
Oh,
like people are
sure.
like, "Oh, we're supposed to do this, this, and this." But actually sometimes we drink and also ketamine is totally fine apparently, and we do
And
laughing
laughing
gas.
gas, yeah.
And it's like, so like, who are you? Like, you're just hypocrites. They're just like, I saw a tweet that was like, the main takeaway I have from the secret lives of Mormon wives is that Mormonism is a religion with really weird rules, and all of your time is spent looking for even weirder loopholes to get around
Correct.
them. And that's
And
what I took away.
I
And I'm like, it's
love it.
fine. But
I
I'm like,
love it. Inject it into my veins. I love trash reality TV. I'm not even joking. I don't care. It's so silly. I love low stakes stuff. But here's the thing, I have so much to be angry about that I'm here on this podcast. That's
and
what I
listen, there is a lot to be angry about, and like
correct.
I'm getting fully. I watched all of it. I'm in it
Yes.
too. I needed to
No, but I
preface
think you
it
need
with
it.
like how
Yes,
I feel
that's
emotionally
fair.
about it.
That's fair. So let's talk through for all the people that are V confused about what's going on. So,
Wait,
yes,
can I ask one question first?
please.
Actually, so the inciting incident of this series is
Yes.
that this TikToker on Mom Talk named Taylor exposed the quote soft swinging that was happening in Mom Talk, which to me I would have thought like Mom Talk would just mean any TikTok about being a mom, but for these specific women it's like no, it's about us being moms, and
We
that's it.
founded it.
We
Yes.
like okay, you're the first moms on TikTok, cool, whatever. Anyways, so she exposed this like swinging and said that
Yes.
everyone was swinging with everyone, blah blah blah. So were these women all swinging? Like, why are they acting like Taylor's the only one who was swinging? I'm like, so who are the swingers? What is like? What? I don't
We still
understand.
don't know. That's the tea. So here's the thing. They should have been like, Taylor, we make you the main person. You gotta name names. Or you gotta tell us
Literally,
something. Because I did a little bit of research into this because yes, I also had the same question. Original Mom Talk, and can I be honest? We talked about the swinging mess on
yes,
one of
we
the mess
did.
magnets. I to this day thought it was Mon, like Mormon, MON talk. So I said, why do they keep saying mom, mom, mom? It's obviously Mon talk.
I no.
I know. I'm just saying this is how like crazy old I am. But anyway, so the joke is I did some research. They were originally Taylor and two other women that were and their husbands that were part of Mom Talk. And then it
And
almost ballooned into more people. So I allegedly,
yes.
allegedly, I think that it is those three couples that were the that were the full on
And
swingers. I'm
so
sorry, no soft
wait,
swinging.
so and the other two couples are not involved in this show?
Yes, they're not. That's why I believe it has to
Interesting.
be them.
Okay, okay. Well, whatever. I
Yeah.
also am like, if people want to make out with other people and their
No, Taylor
spouses
had
are all fine with it, who
sex.
cares?
No, Taylor had sex with them,
Well, and
with
also,
one
who
of the
cares if
husbands.
everyone's okay with it? Who cares?
Well, apparently that was against the rules, guys. So that's why, because they were
I
soft swinging, not full swinging, and Taylor gets drunk.
okay. Well,
And
I would believe that.
so basically, this is yeah, and that's how this happened. Taylor was part of this thing, the soft swinging, whatever you want to call it. She divorces her husband or is going through a divorce. And bless her heart, Taylor is always in some mess. So she exposes all of this. Mom Talk goes viral. They now have Hulu show. That is it. That is the trajectory, everyone. And of course, we're going to be following 8 women: Taylor, Frankie Paul, Demi, Engerman, Jen Affleck. Yes, you heard it right.
And she is a relation. Well, her husband is a relation.
Her husband is a second cousin of Ben Affleck. And Jen tried it, okay? And Jen was like, I'm the real Jenny from the block. Shut up. Just shut up. And Jessie, oh my God. Jessie. Her last name starts with an N, and I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I can't. Yeah, Layla Taylor, Macy Neely, Michaela Matthews, and Whitney Levitt. Okay. Whoo.
And like,
let's breathe.
just need to be so clear. Need to be so clear. There are really 2 women on this show that have star power, and it's Taylor, Frankie Paul, and Whitney Levitt. I'm sorry to say.
And I believe that the only people that should have star power is Jessie and Demi.
Well, yes. But unfortunately,
yes, you're not wrong. I just want to make that clear.
Like, when I say this is who has star power, I am not saying this is who I like the best or who I'm rooting for.
Bro, what the hell?
I'm talking about who is actually like good TV.
Correct. And anyway, so like I said, Taylor just shared that the reason she gets divorced is that she broke the rules of soft swinging agreement with the other couples. And if you're wondering what soft swinging is, just quickly, Taylor says Tate, her ex-husband, and I open these doors, let people in our lives, and I don't know what you would call it, like soft swinging, where you don't fully switch and you don't go all the way.
Okay, so are they allowed to soak?
That's the thing. Methinks not.
Well, but if all the Mormons who are saving for marriage are allowed to soak, and that's not against the rules.
And if you don't know what soaking is, congratulations, Mazel Tov. Don't look it up.
No, no, we're talking about it right now. So if you somehow have made it to this point, you don't know what soaking is. It's a Mormon practice that, not like for the part of the church, but it's like that like Mormon kids will do. Yeah, deal with it, Sasha. So the Mormon kids will do so that they're not technically having sex, but they want to have sex. They'll do you do one penetration.
Yes.
And then you get a friend to jump on the bed for any motion. And what I found out is you pay per jump. So you actually get paid to jump on the bed for your friends.
No. And here's the thing. I just want to say one positive thing. Not positive. One
positive.
No, sorry. Yeah. One interesting observation.
Yes.
That's a lot of stamina. Is that the right word? To just stay there and not do anything?
I mean, I'm sure listen.
For the flag to be mass, I'm saying. For all that's crazy. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I think for it to just stay at full mass is it probably is uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's my point. It's just fascinating. That's all I mean.
But I don't know. Neither of us have the equipment to really speak on it. No. I don't want to know. I don't want to hear anything.
And I don't.
Yeah,
about it.
Don't tell us.
Don't even think to talk about.
But there is in the show Jury Duty, which was where it was all actors and then the one normal guy. There is a quote soaking scene where they ask the guy if he'll jump on the bed for them, and he says no. Thank God. Imagine if he'd said yes. And that scene is one of the funniest scenes of TV I've ever watched in my life.
God. But yes, so the people that are cast on the show explicitly say we have never swung, we don't engage in non-monogamy except Whitney's husband apparently, and we don't do it, and they don't name drop the other members of the swinging group which is implied that they're not cast on the show, which is why I really believe it was
It's
those
those
other
other
two.
2.
Yep.
I mean, that theory makes sense. I spent the whole time being like, "So who are the swingers?" And so it makes a lot of sense that they are not featured on
Yes.
the screen. Um, so the first episode of the show is, like, a year before the second episode because they really filmed a pilot and nobody wanted to pick it up.
Which is fumble, because look at how much money they've made.
Well, I mean, maybe they needed that extra time to
Oh,
get more
fair.
drama
Fair.
for it to happen. I don't know. But there's a few, like, big bombshells that drop right at the
Mhm.
beginning. The first, of course, is so Whitney and her husband had moved to Hawaii, and they made it seem like they moved to Hawaii and it was, like, about the swinging thing, which is why I was so
Yeah.
confused when they, like, were saying, "No, we don't swing." But
Mhm.
they're just and then in the second episode, they're, like, coming back
And
from
Whitney is a
Hawaii.
grade A liar, gaslighter.
She's a professional
Just
victim.
yes, that's the best way to describe everything she is struggling with. Not everything. Most of what she's struggling with, she has been the flint that starts the fire.
She's messy, but her, like, first big thing is we find out that they moved to Hawaii because her husband had been on Tinder because he is a porn addict. Now, to me, if someone's a porn addict, they're gonna be on OnlyFans, or they're gonna be on Pornhub, they're gonna
That's
be on
what
other
I'm
pornography
saying.
websites. If someone's on Tinder, to me, that would imply that they're more of a sex addict than a porn addict. But again, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
I can't diagnose.
We're not diagnosing, we're just giving our opinions, all right? That's it. But no, it's very bizarre because y'all, one, they made a whole video, they lied about it, right? That this never happened, which is why I do believe every single one of these women is gonna lie if it
Yes.
benefits them and their
Period.
image. So anything that they have said on the show, take with a not a grain, a
Like a
whole barrel,
spoon.
yeah, of salt, because it for them to just be honest about their life, challenge level impossible. And of course, she's like, I lied about it because I was embarrassed. But why was he on Tinder? And why does he have 17 million different looks on the show? Is he in witness protection?
I was watching a TikTok that was like, here's the timeline of, like, Whitney and Connor,
Yes.
and it literally went through all the times her hair changes and his hair changes, of, like, when he bleaches it, when he had a
Yeah.
mohawk, when he shaved it off, when it's dark. So, like, he changes looks frequently, and so does Whitney. She had, like, 3 hairstyles
Fair.
within the first 2
Fair.
episodes of the show. To be fair, there was, like, a year apart in them,
Yeah.
but it's like that's their big thing. And I get, like, should we do we I don't even know how to best cover this, but, like, her other big thing is she's really jealous that Taylor is, like, the
Yes.
face of Mom
Because
Talk.
yes. So it's really set up as like I feel at least the first episode, which bleeds us into the rest, is it's set up really as team Whitney or team Taylor because is this in the first episode or yeah, first episode where they all come together for a meeting at someone's house. Mind you, they're all wearing the same, they're all wearing black. And they all meet together to talk. And Taylor's like, oh y'all, I have something to share. Taylor's seeing a new man now. I might be pregnant.
Well,
And
this is where Whitney just told them
yes,
about the Tinder thing, and Taylor immediately is like, "Also, I may be pregnant, and it's bad news because we think I miscarried, or it's ectopic."
yes. And the thing is, oh, I thought Taylor said it first and then Whitney started.
No, it was
You're
after
right.
Whitney said
Yes.
it, and then
Yes.
that's when Whitney's like, "What the hell? Like, why can't I ever have a moment?
Yeah. And
Why does she
everyone
make it about
immediately,
herself?"
yeah, forgets what Whitney just said. And they're like, okay, he was on Tinder. Because they're like, did he do anything? And she goes, no. Impossible,
Sure.
but sure.
Okay. And
Sure.
this is where, like, I've seen a lot of theories too that, like, Whitney's husband may have been on a different dating app, but there are, like, the reason why it came out is because there were screenshots of people posting that they saw him on
Mhm.
Tinder specifically. So,
Okay, so maybe it was Tinder.
yeah.
Uh, but it's wild because the other big issue, and this comes up later, in their like when they go on a little birthday getaway is that Whitney is so jealous of Taylor that Whitney posted a really, I just want to call it gross. I don't know how else to say it.
It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire
Yes.
life. It is so horrifying.
Yeah. She posted a TikTok, y'all, and her kid was out of danger, but the baby was still in the hospital, and the baby's like laying, in a crib or whatever, the
Like an
glass.
incubator
Yeah,
thing.
incubator. Thank you. Or something, and she does a horror TikTok dance to share what's been going on. And when I tell you TikTok dance, it's one of them old school, the Addison Rae, like,
Yes,
no, like
yes.
a hand,
And
that one.
like what, the baby was in the hospital for RSV. When they took
Yes.
the baby to the doctor was like, this baby's oxygen level is, you need to go to the emergency room right now. And then the baby was
Mhm.
hospitalized. And like RSV is like really serious for babies, if
Mhm.
anyone doesn't know. And hey, if you don't know, now you know. It's fall,
Yes.
it's starting to be RSV season. Don't be kissing any babies' heads and don't be kissing any babies' hands. Keep your face away from other people's babies.
Correct.
Because that's just serious. But she posts, it's horrible. She's doing this like happy dance about like, oh, my baby has RSV and is in the hospital, blah blah blah. And her justification is like, well, they were out of danger and I just wanted to like cheer myself up. No,
You wanted
below the
clout in
jail.
life.
She should be below the jail. Like, even if she wanted clout from that, like, that's the craziest thing to do, to try and get clout. I don't understand it, and I actually don't think she deserves forgiveness for that.
No, I agree. I just think it's so weird. Everything Taylor has said, felt, not everything, sorry. The swinging thing was like adults, right? She just outed kind of what adults are doing. You're doing a dance while your baby lays there. Weirdo energy. I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
just, and y'all just have to see the TikTok to understand the cringe level.
It's
Because
so bad.
and I'm not saying I'm an amazing dancer or anything, but the folks that believe that they're good dancers because of the white versions of these TikTok dances that have
Well, and
happened.
I think what's crazy is, isn't Whitney the one who was trained as a professional dancer before?
No, I'm sure. I'm not
Which is
saying
why it's so crazy that the dance is so bad.
this is definitely my like boomer take. Like, I just, those dances don't, I find them cringe. I don't care how hard you hit each thing. It looks a mess to me. And I understand why people like them. I'm not like yucking anyone's yum. It's just, it looks cringe, especially when your kid's in the hospital. It's just weirdo.
Like,
So
literally,
that's like Whitney's whole thing.
there. And yes, so she's mad that Taylor got forgiveness easier than her as well. Which, like, Taylor, I don't understand why Taylor needs like quote forgiveness. Like, I guess that's because it's
Exactly.
part of like the Mormon thing of like Taylor not being quote unquote Mormon enough for the rest
Well,
of the
and she
group.
like she opened everyone up to scrutiny. Like, oh, Whitney, were you swinging? Was this person swinging that? So I think that's the issue here.
I
So
guess.
that is this issue. Then at the end of episode 1, we kind of learned that Taylor's dating this man named Dakota, and they have a little on and off. No, like, it's toxic, but that's the best way.
Extremely toxic.
Yes. And then end of this episode is Taylor is arrested that night, and she says at dinner, "I'm going to get drunk." And he's like, "Well, I am recovering, so I'm not going to do this." And she's just like, she's great, but I want to party. And what is so fun about just by yourself drinking at home while maybe your kids are around? I don't understand that part. But either way, you do you. I don't ever, anyone can drink. Who cares? But it's just, it has escalated to then she gets arrested for domestic violence in presence of a child after a drunken argument with him.
Yeah, it's literally wild. The police were called because the neighbors heard smashing and she was like throwing chairs at Dakota, I
Metal
guess.
chairs, WWE
Like,
style.
not
Like, what the hell are you doing?
And like, what was wild to me was that the show actually had the body camera footage of the officers that arrested her. And so that's how the episode ends, is she gets arrested and then it picks up like a year later. She's in probation. she like did a plea deal.
Mm-hmm. And it hit one of those kids who had like a bump, like a goose egg side bump on their head. Like, what are we doing here, bro?
Yeah, just well,
That's
and
what
that's
she should not be forgiven for.
100%, 100%. And the other thing too is just like you have to remember that Taylor's like in her late 20s, like she's a full
Yes.
adult. She acts like she's like 20.
Correct. Because a lot of them are younger, and we'll get into it about
Mhm.
why they're so young. Why are they?
Mhm.
Anyway, I have many feelings about that, but this is almost 30-year-old. Be so serious.
Yeah, it like I do understand there is an element of like arrested development from
Yes.
having that specific upbringing as well, but it's
And
just
like your
like
prefrontal
very
cortex. Yeah, sure.
it's like very jarring to
But
see her
it's
acting
too
like
much.
that and
It's
know
too
that she's
much.
nearly 30.
Yeah. And then you have Layla, right? Who is the youngest. And I'm just like, dude, she is fine and acts good.
She might be the most mature of them all.
Mhm. Yeah. Oof.
Oof.
Yeah, it's very bizarro, but here we are. And anyway, so Whitney also has, in addition to her husband, her storyline, because a lot of them, fun fact, even if they are posting the trad wife lifestyle, not this group of women necessarily, but in general, right? Like, this is becoming huge. We talked about
Mhm.
ballerina farms. And almost all of them are the breadwinners of
Yes.
their house. So
No,
there
they
is
all are. I saw an
yeah, they are, right?
ET
Okay.
interview, and it was literally like, "How many of you are the breadwinner with your influencer money?" And they all raised their hand, and then it was like, "Oh, how do your husbands take it?" And they were like, "Oh yeah,
Mhm.
our husbands are so good with it." And it's like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm. Yep. It's very weird. Um, it's bizarro.
Mhm.
And so that to say, Brittany is like, oh, Whitney ends up speaking about, hey, I finally do get a lot of money. I don't know if it's 20,000, maybe more, whatever. And all I need to do is promote a vibrator on an Instagram post.
Yes.
And she's like, I want to do it as like an empowering thing, which I think makes sense because their community, maybe doesn't necessarily talk about women's pleasure
Yeah.
in that way, is what she's at least saying. And she talks to her mom about her mom and sister, and they're both like, well, it's personal. It should be between you and your partner. But you do you, kind of whatever. But
Mhm.
here's the biggest bombshell that I feel like not enough people online are talking about, and I'm pissed.
Okay.
Layla, who is 22 at the time of this episode, has 2 kids
Mhm.
by this time, says, "Oh, that's interesting that y'all are talking about vibrators and sex toys because I've never had an orgasm."
Her husband found dead.
Well, she is divorced, so at least there's that.
Yeah, at least there's that. But then she talked about how like she's even tried toys, but she like is scared.
To
Just too
finish.
scared to
Yeah.
finish. I'm like,
Girl, let it
girl,
go,
just
girl.
go for it. Let it happen.
Ugh, so yeah, I need like a thumbs up or thumbs down from Layla. Like, has it happened? Has it not? Because
I hope
that
it's happened
broke
by
me.
now.
Yeah, that
Not
just broke me. Because I was like, girl, why are there people out in this world that have not felt this? It's terrible. If they
it's
want
also
to feel it, is what I mean. Yeah.
but who doesn't want
Well, I
to
don't know.
feel it?
Layla, apparently, girl, what the hell?
I feel
And
for her. I
yeah,
really
and
feel for
Whitney
her.
does end up hosting it, so she got the
And
bag.
she talks to her mom about it, and her mom is like her mom seemed fine with it, honestly. Like her mom was like maybe a little disapproving,
Which
but I
makes
felt like she
sense.
came across like a lot more sex positive than all the other
Yes.
younger women did.
Mhm. So that's another Whitney piece of it. Then,
Yes.
of course, we again, one thing Whitney's gonna do is bring the drama because
Yes.
by this time, like Kirsten said, there's a big jump between episode 1 and the rest. Taylor is fully pregnant again.
Like about to
Fully.
pop.
Yes. And they're all going, they're all now away from Macy. who seems to be the most even keeled, cool with everyone. Her husband seems fine.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, great. So they're all like chatting, and Whitney and Taylor like finally start to have a heart to heart. And Whitney just seems a little bit, like you said, professional victim, where
Mm-hmm.
she's like, I don't know. I'm just coming from here, and you just don't, you're not a good friend, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, Whitney is at this point, like, she has shown her true colors. And I don't care. She's annoying.
It's Whitney will like miss a major friendship
Yes.
milestone event and then afterwards be like, oh well, I just like didn't think we were friends, so I didn't think I had to say anything, I didn't want to say anything, like I felt good with
Mhm.
it. And it's like, okay, well then why are you popping back up, right? Like if you're
Yep.
out, you're out. Why are you still like appearing?
And she'll come for like random events that have no meaning. And she just wants people, and I personally know people like this, that she wants attention while saying she doesn't want attention. You know those people that are like, I hate drama, and they be the number one people that
It's
are in drama.
the people that say they hate drama are the ones that are in drama the most. I like to say like I don't like drama, but I will get involved if I need to.
I do like drama. Whatever. I don't care. I
I
don't
like
want to.
other people's
Yeah, I
drama.
like
I don't
other
like my own
people's
drama.
drama. That's fair. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's how this really feels. And then they all kind of gang up on her, specifically Jessie,
Yeah.
who drags her in front of everyone and is like, no, you're like annoying. You tell this person's info here, that person's info there. And then you're like, well, if you said it to me, I'm being a good friend. And I'm just sharing that you call Taylor White trash.
No.
And she does. There's like no accountability. It's like lights are on,
No,
no one's
it's
home.
okay to call people white trash. Like, no, it's obviously not like a nice thing to say to someone. But like
Yeah,
all like that was a moment that was one and done, and you're now bringing it up and making that person feel bad.
exactly. Everything about drives me crazy. So it's just anyway, professional victim. And after that, there's a few more things with Whitney. But long story short, she ends up leaving the group chat.
I wait, but can we talk about the fruity pebbles?
Oh yes. Oh my God. Sorry.
Because how could we ignore the fruity pebbles? So okay,
Please.
there's a story. I don't even remember. Here's the other thing. Again, as I said, I
I believe
cannot
it's
tell these
Demi.
women apart. I do not know which one. Honestly, if you can tell all of the women of the secret lives of Mormon wives apart, turn off your TV, go outside and touch some grass. Like
They
you
go
shouldn't
to
be able to
the
do
same
it.
plastic surgeon. You literally cannot tell them apart.
It's truly wild. The show did make
Yeah.
me want hair extensions though.
Yes, because they look great.
They do, their hair is those Mormon curls. They really do. They do the
Mhm.
damn thing. Anyway, so
Yeah, it's
they're
Demi and her
having
husband.
it's so Demi is having
Wait, and
a
can we wait 1 second. Demi, who is married to someone that she knew that was having kids when she was 9 years old. And Demi says it herself. So that's why it's like, girl, I can't even hate on you. And not only his name is Brett. Brett was signed up by Demi to be on The Bachelorette.
huh?
And yes, and want to know when Demi was still with her husband, and he had just gotten divorced from his second wife, I believe. I don't know if it was after the first or second. Want to know who Brett's second wife is?
Who?
Angie H from who was a friend on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
See, and this is the stuff like, why isn't this in the show? Why is it all
I
about the bad
agree.
drama? Like, why isn't the interesting drama coming up? This is so annoying to me. Okay, so Demi
Yep, sorry.
is
So I just
having
needed to share that. Okay.
a Valentine's party with all of her
Which
friends.
I love. Please invite me to all
Yeah,
Galentine's
I
parties.
love that. It's so Galentine's Day is the
Yes.
day before Valentine's Day. It's a day to spend with your female friends. If you watch Parks and Rec, she always like gets waffle and celebrates Galentine's
Mhm.
Day. Anyways, so she's having Galentine's party. Well, it's also really funny because she said it to start at 7 and everyone starts showing up and she's not ready yet because she thought it was at 7:30. Which like you're not going
Queen.
to be ready in advance of your own party that you're hosting.
And
Anyway, okay.
again, her husband was doing all the prep, a king.
He's like, anyone want to help me with the charcuterie board?
Cricket.
And no one said a thing. So, anyways, they're having a Galentine's party with like gifts and stuff. It's a classy event. Now, Whitney and two of the other wives are getting ready together at Whitney's house before they go over. And they are talking about how like Demi and her husband are like kind of wild and they do things that are so crazy. And we find out that what they're talking about that's so crazy is literally her sitting on her husband's face, which is like, okay. It's crazy to them. They would never do that. They would never do anything so crazy and they'd never tell anyone about it. But the gag is allegedly, when Demi and her husband did this sexual act, it tasted like Fruity Pebbles, I guess.
And the thing is,
cool,
y'all,
good for them.
And I understand, right? Like, this is something new for them. This community maybe isn't so up on game with things, but it's what's one step above vanilla. That's what that feels like.
And there's nothing wrong with vanilla either.
No, absolutely not.
It's
I will
also
die
like,
on that hill.
It's also just like, okay, that like this is such a thing where it's like, okay, yeah, and you might tell your friends that and you'd have a little tee. But Whitney decides, you know what, I actually want this to definitely make it on the show.
Yes.
And so I am going to fill a box with Fruity Pebbles to give to her so that when she opens it, it's like about that story, which is really fucked up, honestly. Like from Whitney, like I know it's like, oh, it's the Fruity Pebbles, whatever, but I actually felt really bad for Demi in this situation because it's like rude of Whitney to do if you know that your friend like doesn't want to talk about that. And I guess Demi and her husband had said that they wouldn't tell anyone about that. So
Demi messed up. I want to make that clear. But Whitney takes it to the final nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? That's why people, I think, don't like Whitney. Because fine, Demi messed up. I think it's fair to say that. But then why does Whitney have to like drive the point home? And then Demi's like, hey, this is not cool. I'm angry. Whitney walks away, Kirsten. What the hell?
Yeah, well, it was just a joke. And so if you get mad at Whitney, then you're really being rude to her.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. I like it's like just shut up, Whitney.
Literally, there's people dying, Kim. That's how I feel about Whitney. Anyway, so that's a little bit about it. And then so after that, we have then Whitney leaves the group chat, which is
so dramatic. It's because she wants to be the leader of Mom Talk and nobody will let her be the quote leader. And it's like, I'm sorry. Why are you as adults requiring a leader of your friend group? It's so weird. It's bizarre.
And then remember when they go for some sodas, because I love it. We gotta have our 44-ounce sodas, because Mormon, again, this is according to the show, can't have any caffeine, but sodas are okay.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Where the rule is supposed to be you can't have caffeine, right?
Period.
But they're like, we can't have coffee or tea, but soda is fine. And I always find this very confusing. But obviously, like, people practice their religions at different levels all the time. Like, every religion has people who are different levels of observant. So I don't know why. Like, it's not that surprising. But I feel like even like the people in this group that talk about how they're like the most Mormon and they practice it the most out of anyone are like, I have a 40-ounce soda 3 times a week because it's okay. And I'm like, is it okay? I always
find a week. I thought it was daily, so at least
3 a day.
I don't know. Oh my god,
whose body could fit that much liquid?
And especially these women.
She would be dead.
It was just so funny. And again, these side plots are what makes the show, because it doesn't mean anything, but you're just like, what? What's going on?
It's that, or it's also where they get laughing gas to have Botox. And I'm like, laughing gas is like the drug that kills the most brain cells. Like, why are you so casually doing this?
Oh my god. It's just y'all. It is unserious, these people, and I love it. So anyway, yeah. So she leaves. So after Fruity Pebbles, she leaves the group chat. Nobody moves. Everyone's like, oh, right. And how they how they combat Whitney, because a lot of folks are like, she's transactional in her relationships.
Mhm.
Whitney's very much like, what can you do for me? And then
Mhm.
we'll go from there. So everyone's just kind of irritated, but then they say, great, now we're only going to put in this group chat events. So if she doesn't make it or get invited, that's on her, is because she left said group chat. So there's a few events after that Whitney obviously doesn't go to because,
Yeah.
allegedly. Producers, I'm sure, told her about it, but still. I find it so funny because she doesn't show up to her one friend, Macy's,
Yeah.
product launch. And they all, when the countdown happens or Macy's launching the site,
Mhm.
they do what this they use that countdown as a let's all unfollow her.
And, like, Macy's the only one that's nice to her or defends her ever,
Yes!
and so, like, why are you not going to her event?
And when she went to Layla's divorce party, it's like, what the hell is
Which also
happening?
the divorce party was wild. Like, good
And
for you, celebrate your divorce, but, like, why are you framing it as a funeral? Like, that's strange to
I
me.
think there's a way to funeral, like, yeah, to say like, oh, my past is dead, and then do like a outfit change in the middle of it. That
Yeah.
would have been cute. The thing is, it's just a little bit boring, but I understand that like they're Mormon, so there's only so many things they can do, maybe. But that outfit she got on, I don't know where the garment's hiding. Layla.
That I saw a lot of comments on the show, "Where are their garments?"
Well,
Which
we know
garments, I
Jen
guess, are,
forgot
like,
them.
Jem she was upset when she forgot hers.
Let's talk about Jen Affleck because I have many feelings.
Okay,
Yes.
I have way more feelings about her husband, Zach, who is like a
Well, yeah,
demon
I
walking
mean, like,
among
her
us.
storyline. Yes. Yes. So, here's I have many questions for Jen Affleck. So, Jen Affleck is so sweet. I really enjoyed her. I just thought she was, like, a nice, cute person.
Yes.
Again, breadwinner of said family. In my mind, she's a single mom. You can't tell me otherwise because she is paying for her husband to go to BYU, which is a private school, med school. Okay? In addition
Well,
to taking care
she's
of her kids.
so this is no, he was at BYU for his undergrad, and then he was going to med school because they have the graduation party for his
Oh.
undergrad in this season,
Oh,
and
that
then
was
at the
undergrad?
that was his undergrad
Oh
graduation,
my
and then at the
god, those
end of the
bitches.
season, they talk about how he got into med school in New York and
But
how
he's
that
so
would be like a
old.
conflict.
Oh, but he's older than he's like 27, no?
I don't know
Okay,
how old
whatever,
he is.
weird. You no, I don't think you're wrong, because I remember seeing a picture in my mind, I don't know why. I thought it was more than that. Anyway, I don't care, BYU is expensive as hell, even for undergrad. And
Mhm.
y'all, why is Jen paying for, this mole rat's, tuition, you ask?
Why is he, as a man, so blonde?
Yeah. So let's talk, okay? Because in case you didn't know, his dad is a surgeon, okay? And their wealth disparity, Jen shares, is so high, is that her mom is a cleaner at the hospital that his dad
Mhm.
is the surgeon at. And here's my issue with Jen. That mole rat is you're paying for him to
Mhm.
go to school. Why aren't you retiring your mom?
Well, she can't afford to retire her mom because her
That's what I'm
husband
saying.
gambles away all their money.
Yes,
Because Zach's parents gave them money to
period.
help pay for school, and he gambled it away.
And she's still with this loser and having kids with the girls. You deserve better. I get it. She was raised in the Mormon culture, but like my God. And it's just he is so terrible. He makes it to where certain people can't come to their baby blessing because they were sneaking alcohol, not
Well,
giving.
okay, to be
Yes.
fair, I don't think it's cool for him to get to just like have the say on who gets to go to the baby blessing
Correct.
or whatever. However, they weren't like sneaking alcohol. Like
Mhm.
this was a party at Zach and Jen's house where
Yes.
they are like
Mormon,
they do
Mormon.
not drink. They
Yes.
like they are more devout in that way. And people are just like have a flask out and about saying, "Yeah, this is vodka. Time for a drink. We should all take a shot." And I think they were even trying to pressure Zach into drinking too. So like I understand why he'd be uncomfortable with them after they were so disrespectful in their home. And Jen was upset about it too.
Mhm. Yeah, and I don't disagree. I think it's messed up. I just feel like the whole energy is messy around
Yes.
it. That's all. That's how I feel.
It's well, yeah, and they get like one of the big moments for them is so everyone goes to Vegas at the end of the season.
Yes.
And
And
it's
this is
whose
when it all
birthday
goes
is
to
it?
hell. Layla, it just happened to be Layla's birthday as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was for the birthday or not. So, anyways,
No.
they go to Vegas and so Taylor gets a drive to Vegas because she's so pregnant that she can't
Yes.
fly, which I'm like, well, girl, why are you going to Vegas? Like now maybe is not the
And
time, but
mind you,
okay.
they're fighting on the way.
And yeah, and so Dakota comes too because he's like, well, I don't want to not be in Vegas if she like has the baby, right? And they're literally like screaming at each other in the car on the way there. Zach drove, right? It was Zach
Mhm.
and Jen that were driving them. And so Zach's
Yes.
also in Vegas and he's so excited to go to Vegas and gamble. And she's like, "Yeah,
Correct.
you have like a $2,500 allowance or whatever. Don't lose it all." It's like, maybe we stop enabling this, but okay. And they go to Chippendales while
Mhm.
they are in Vegas, which is like a
And VIP Chippendales.
yeah,
Ooh,
it's
ooh.
like a pretty normal like experience to have in Vegas. And the VIP is when you go backstage and they like are rubbing oil on them or whatever. I
And
do think
Chippendales show isn't even that crazy. I've been to it.
it's
It's
no
alright.
Thunder from Down Under.
Yeah, Thunder from Down Under is, like, I would say the better show as a connoisseur.
And so I do think like it did. Here's the thing where we don't know if it's true or not because it seems like all the women were really surprised by going to the like backstage at Chippendales or to Chippendales at all. But it's also like, are they pretending to be surprised because they know they're on TV and they don't want to get into,
Correct.
like it's like we don't know what's true.
Well,
We don't know what's
Jessie
not
says
true.
it's surprise trip, but we know when Jessie's like, it's surprise, but, you're gonna like it, but maybe your husband might not." Mind you, the 2, most problematic husbands are in Vegas with them.
And like specifically said like, oh, like you can't go to the strippers or like it's pretty
Yeah.
hard to raise 2 babies alone if you go like
She's been raising, and guess what? She's been raising 3 babies. You are one of the babies.
period.
Why? Because she just gave you money, mole rat, to literally
To throw
gamble.
away, to literally throw away in garbage.
$2,500. Be
Anyway,
so for real. The chutzpah of these people.
it's it knows no bounds, the audacity of these. Anyway, so they
Oh,
go
the gumption. Ooh.
and then Jen tells Zach and
First of
he
all, you're
starts.
dumb. Yeah. Why would you tell? But yes.
I mean, I guess that like he would find out at some point anyways, but maybe she didn't have to tell him right then and there.
Ladies, ask forgiveness, not
Uh,
permission. Okay.
and so they get a big fight. And he's like, I'm done. I'm done. He's, I guess, texting her like horrendous things all night long. She
And there are
ultimately
TikToks
leaves.
that have broken down the text message. It's really ridiculous.
And so she leaves at 2 in the morning to go to him. And so then she's like gone the whole next day. And everyone's like, is Jen okay? Like, is she good? And then she gets back. She's like, it's so good. We really needed that. Like, we're on the same page now. Everything's
Mhm.
fine. And it's like her friends are now alarmed because they've seen the type of stuff that Zach is saying to her, which is wild.
Yep. It's ridiculous. He is here's my theory. He gambled away the money and needed to pick a fight with her so that she doesn't get mad at him for his actions. It's like who gets mad first wins.
One also like if you're literally giving someone $2,500 to gamble with, I also don't think it's
Yeah.
super justified to then get mad when they lost it because obviously they're gonna
I
lose
agree.
it.
I agree. I think whatever money you set aside for gambling is free money that you're not gonna get back. Like that's how you have to look at it. Impossible otherwise. But it's so funny because she just like goes at 2 in the morning. First of all, does she like Uber there at 2 a.m.? That's
She
crazy.
she
That's
must
so
have.
unsafe. What are we doing, guys?
I mean, none of what they're doing is good.
God. So she like goes to him, obviously, and he did not want to stay the night alone too. I feel like that's another thing. God.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
know.
just it's ridiculous. And I also believe that she's so young, right? She's only 24. And they got married young. That there's a weird power dynamic there, even though she has the money. There's still a weird power dynamic between them, which is why I think this causes a lot of all this drama.
Yeah, well, and then it's also the thing where like there's the power dynamic, and then there's what's supposed to be the power dynamic, and
Correct.
then her
Correct.
being the breadwinner doesn't align with the like goal of what their power dynamic would be. And
Yep.
so it's just like weird and messy, and I just wish the best for her and hope that honestly she leaves him because he's horrible. But the show ends with her being like, oh yeah, I'm like stepping away from mom talk because Zach doesn't want me to be involved.
Yep. And they're gonna move, which is crazy. Okay, how is she gonna make money for him?
Well, they're moving to New York for him to go to med school, so
No way he's making that much. Again, she was bringing in money. And I'm just sad. I'm really sad because her mom could have also used the money. But no, this gambling addict has to use the money. And again, I just feel like there's a way he could just be like, I acknowledge that you're the breadwinner, but I'm the head of the household, right? Because of our culture. And that's how things should be. But nope, nope, nope.
yeah.
He
No.
just Delulu type Pro Max. That's him. And I can't. He like really bothers me so much. And to this, she's like, oh, we've been in therapy nonstop since the show. You lie. You lie like a rug.
I actually don't
Nothing
believe
about
that
them
he
is
would go to
real.
therapy first and
Maybe
foremost.
they'll go to therapy for her to be like, I need to figure out how to not be a sinner. Because the other storyline, again, if you're a Real Housewives of Atlanta fan, you know the talls and the smalls. Here's the saints and the sinners. So she is part of the saints group. And I feel that he's going to be like, well, you're straying away from the faith, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, oh, my marriage is great, perfect. Embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, and especially like even like the other girls were like, well, we know what she's gonna say. Like this is what always happens. So
Yep.
Akko.
Correct.
Akko.
Just and then the last thing for saints and sinners is Macy does this thing online called Sinner Sunday where people send in confessions.
Yes.
One of these confessions was about Taylor's boyfriend Dakota, who Macy already don't like. And it
Yeah,
says
Macy hates him, and
Yeah.
it makes me like Macy even more.
Correct. And Macy's like honest to his face. Like it's not this like weird passive aggressive
No,
two-faced thing.
that's Macy. Like these people are way too involved in each other's relationships for sure. But Macy will say to
I
his
know
face, like,
people like that.
here's
I'm
the
not
things that you do that are similar to when I was in an abusive relationship. And I'm not calling you abusive, but here's all the things you do that are like similar. And it's like,
But if quack like a duck and walks like a duck, I think it's a duck.
And so this is the other thing too, where like Taylor talks very much about how when she first got together with Dakota, he had like hooked up with someone and then had like met up with this other girl, I think Jess, right? Is her name.
Mhm.
And it's all about if Taylor finds out that he hooked up with Jess, she will leave, no problem, no questions asked, because he lied, and she will leave like that. It's over.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, we'll see. And so this is where the confession comes in.
Yes. So the confession says I accidentally slept with Dakota accidentally. Before maybe they're soaking. Before I knew him and Taylor were together. I only met Taylor once and I'm terrified to tell her, but I know she was right. She has a right to know help. And then this becomes like, a whole thing for half the season. Finally, Macy tells Taylor.
Well, and Macy's like, I don't know if I should tell her. I've been sitting on it for 2 months. And now it's like, well, I have to tell her before she has the baby. It's like, maybe you could have told her before she was literally 8.5 months pregnant.
Correct. And here's the thing, I don't like Dakota, and I don't, but like I just feel like they're in a toxic relationship together, so I don't know that it's fully fair to only drag him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have so much smoke for him, because I don't like him as well. I think he's weird. That whole I think Taylor's family is a little bit also a lot like pushing her to marry him when she's not sure about him. First of all, why are we having kids with people we don't want to marry? What in the Cam
I
Newton,
I
Nick
really
Cannon is
do not
going on?
understand being like, I'm not ready to be married, but I am ready to tie myself to you forever with a baby that we then have to raise. And it very much is giving to me they were having problems and thought, we'll have a baby and it will fix the problems, which
Yeah.
is never advisable.
Mm-hmm.
Get a kitten.
Yep. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you. But yeah, it's just I feel a lot of feels about it,
Yeah.
and I feel sad for all the kids involved. When
Yes.
it with a lot of these people, but especially Taylor and Dakota, because they come off, like I said, whatever it may be for the show. So I don't want to diagnose. They just come off as a lot.
I mean, it's extremely toxic to the point that they're fighting all the time, and to the point where police have been called in the past and there's been a conviction, right? So like
Mhm.
I don't think they should be together. And
Yeah.
I also feel really bad for Taylor because her mom is so mean to her all the time, and I'm like, you realize that your child wouldn't end up this way if you had like done differently as well. Like, I just think that when like
Mhm.
someone's like mad at their kid for how their kid is acting, they need to also take some accountability for how they raise their child.
Correct. Yeah. That's why it just feels like that whole situation is stressful.
Mhm.
And no one is good. Like I can't the only person that I feel like I'm on the side of is that baby and all the kids in that situation.
Yeah,
Everyone else,
100%.
all the adults and Taylor, that vortex, fail. All of you. That's how I feel. And again, it's an edited show, so I'm taking that with a grain of salt. But from what we've seen, this too
Yes.
much, and we don't get anything right. Like we know that Macy tells her, and that's the end of it.
Except no, at the very end, Macy is calling this
Oh, she gets on
person.
the
She
phone. That's
calls Jess
it.
on the
Sorry.
phone and
Yes.
she's like, "Hey, like Jess, I want to know basically if this is you." And then it cuts off so we don't actually know what Jess said. And then I have seen a TikTok of someone being like, "My name's Jess. I did date
Mm-hmm.
uh so and so. I'll tell you everything." So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yep. And what's crazy about this is that girl also is kind of like she made a lot of um what's that girl the name who allegedly
Which one?
cheated with, I forget her name. But anyway, she's like come out and like made a few TikToks, right? There was one that was like, it's true. The one you sent me. That it's
Yeah.
true. It's very true. Everything you say. So with like a voiceover. So
Yeah. We'll see, but listen, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens moving
the
forward,
thing is,
but
now Taylor has a kid with this guy. Like, what he like? Move on. Like, what?
yeah, we'll see.
It's just every. Oh my god! I feel sad. It's scary. Yeah, and then the final Whitney moment is her parting words are "Good luck without me" because she's leaving mom talk.
Okay, sure.
Girl, bye.
The one Whitney moment that I really liked
Okay,
during this
yes.
season is while everyone's in Vegas and all the drama's happening, and
Mm-hmm.
Whitney is somehow privy to all of this drama, even though it is after she left the group chat. So I don't know who told her, whatever.
Mason's ass, probably.
But when she is telling her husband about everything that's going on and about how like she initially had FOMO about this trip, but now she's so glad she didn't go. And Connor's like, why are they mad about them going to
No,
Chippendales? Like,
Connor
aren't they?
knows the drama. That's what it is.
Oh yes, Connor
Connor.
tells her.
This
Yes.
is another
Connor
thing
talks
I
to the
forgot about.
husband.
Thank you. What Connor? Again, the biggest gossip is a man. And Connor is, instead of Drake, Connor should be now the photo of that. Because he said, well, I heard from this husband that this is happening. Oh, he has the tea. Connor, when can we get you on Mess Magnet?
Yeah. And it was the accurate tea to what we saw as
Correct.
well. So like he had the info. Okay, thank you. Because I couldn't remember how
Mhm.
she found out. But when they're talking and it's just like, yeah, and I guess they're like really mad that they went to Chippendales, and both Whitney and Connor kind of like, I don't understand why that's such a big deal. and and then it's just like, yeah, I had FOMO about this trip, but I'm really glad I didn't go now. It's like, bitch, you weren't invited.
I'm telling you, everything about her is delusional. And I think if she just like owned being the villain, that would have been fine. But the fact that she plays the victim is why I can't get on the Delulu train, if that makes
Exactly.
sense.
And listen, if she's on season 2 and she finally is like owning up to being like an anti-mom talker,
Correct.
or like
Correct.
against the others, I could root for her. I can root for a
Yes.
delusional villain, but like, just tell us that you're the villain. Don't be like, no, but I'm baby. They made me cry. Like, no, enough.
I am with you. Oh
Okay,
my
and is there
gosh.
anything else that we missed? I feel like we hit all of the
I'm sure,
highlights.
yeah, and I'm sure we missed stuff. Like, apologies. Listen, let's talk in the comments. What
Yes.
else have we missed? What was your favorite parts of the show? And we didn't talk about oh my god, what is that girl's name? Not me forgetting.
Which
Um
one?
the one that has the unfortunate skin conditions, like that's part of her.
Oh,
Um
I can't even tell you which one that
Michaela,
is
okay, it
because
is Michaela. Yes, her name's Michaela, I believe. And the only thing I want to say is like Michaela was 16 and her husband was 21
oh yeah. Okay,
when they
no.
met.
This is and she got pregnant as a teen and then
Yes,
got married. It's
correct.
like it's very sad.
Mhm. So that's like we don't get a lot from Michaela, unfortunately, but it's weird. Okay, it's weird. I don't like it. It's
Mhm.
making me uncomfy for what these
Yes.
like young women have to go through.
And just the type of behavior that is super normalized in the
Yes,
community.
correct. So again, it is what it is. Not here to judge. It's just we're bringing you the facts. Oof, it's very unfortunate. And yeah, that like again, there's more to her as a person, I'm sure. I just that's what we know about her. So
Mhm.
yeah, great. I just, Demi and Jesse, let's get on Mess Magnets and just talk.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's have a
Mhm.
conversation. Okay. I did also just want to like briefly touch on the VMAs because they did happen this week and I feel like, as we get into award season, we kind of have to talk about it a little
Correct.
bit. But I don't want to get too heavy into all of the lore because we did just talk about Mormon wives for an hour.
Yes.
But basically, some of the big awards that went out, we could just do a quick. So, Chapel Roan won Best New Artist, which is very exciting. She also performed Good Luck Babe live, and people are calling it Roan of Arc because she was in chainmail and she like shot the arrow fire at the castle. It was really cool. So congrats to her. So best video and song of the summer went to Fortnite by Taylor Swift, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry, in whose home? Like, I guess the music video is fine if people want to be excited about the music video. I won't get
Mhm.
mad at them. In whose home was Fortnite the song of the summer? The song of the summer was Espresso. Period.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
Like,
I didn't even want it and it was there.
in whose
It was
home was Fortnite the
constantly on
song of
my
the summer?
Spotify.
Like, I like Tortured Poets Department as an album. There's songs that I like. It's fine, but
Mhm.
no, like not song of the summer. Come on. Taylor Swift also won Best Artist, whatever. The one that here's what I'm shocked about. The Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award for like this is like a lifetime achievement award.
Yes.
Went to Katy Perry. Huh?
Yeah. After Katy Perry went on that little tour talking about just do the dishes and hawk 2 at a time.
I've like enough. Like I think it's ridiculous that she won the Video Vanguard Award. There's definitely
Mhm.
people that would be more um deserving, whatever. Her performance was like fine.
Mhm.
Who cares? But here's okay. This is the drama from the VMAs that made me laugh so hard.
Yep.
So they had a literal like Taylor cam as if it's the NFL.
Yes, correct. That was
Which
funny.
like
Yeah.
and honestly enough. Like stop. And I also saw some blind items that like that's why she kept like disappearing, was because she didn't know that she was going to be on camera the whole night and she wanted to drink
Mhm.
without being seen, so she was like leaving to go drink out of sight. But so while Katy Perry is performing her medley, there's footage of Jack Antonoff, who is sitting with Taylor Swift, putting in like I don't know, earplugs, like noise canceling earplugs
Yeah,
of some
yeah, yeah,
kind. We
yeah.
don't really know.
Sure.
And people are like, wow, that's so shady that he would do that. But no, like it's actually, if you're going to a concert, you should put in earplugs to
Yeah,
protect your hearing.
yes.
Like it's that's actually the correct
You
thing to
can
do.
still
Like
hear everyone.
you can still hear because
They're not
concerts
noise
are
canceling.
loud.
Yeah.
Concerts are loud. If it was like a little thing, yeah, that would be rude. But it's like, no, concerts are literally loud. He could hear, calm down. But what was funny is he did like a thread on Twitter of like apologizing, which made me laugh. Did you see this, Sasha?
No.
Okay, perfect. I can't wait. I'm going to read it to you.
Oh
So
my
it's
god.
4 tweets.
Okay.
And the first one is, I would like to tell you directly from me that I did, in fact, use earplugs the other night. They were Blue Heroes brand, and I'm mortified to admit that I've been using them for a long time, as well as buying them in bulk. I would also like to be honest and get ahead of the fact that I do not only use them when in 100 plus dB environments. It is humiliating to admit that I use them on planes and every night while asleep. There is nothing left to do but apologize and thank those who have covered this story, because although it's an embarrassment to my family and I do believe that this is very important and pressing issue that needed to be exposed. I'm sorry to those I let down, and today I will not be going to work and instead thinking about my earplug use and everyone that has been affected by it. The band and I have decided to keep all dates as scheduled.
You know what? This is how you deal with it. I love
I
it.
laugh so hard
I
because it's
love this
so
stuff.
stupid. Why are Stans writing a dissertation on how it's rude that Jack Antonoff put headphones, like earplugs in? He can hear. It's fine.
Agreed. Y'all, come on. This is what
I
I
know.
mean. What I miss when VMA had ridiculous moments, because this is what we're talking about.
It's and also like I think Katy Perry performing Roar in like 2013 won like iconic VMA performance, and it was I literally up against like the Britney and Madonna kit. Like it's just
Mhm.
so unserious now. The VMAs used to matter. The
That's what
VMAs
I
used
like
to
was
mean
yeah.
something.
I watched clips. I didn't even watch the whole thing. Meg killed it.
Yeah.
Her looks were so funny when she did the Britney with the snake and she couldn't handle the snake. Oh, I just love her so much. So I thought that was funny.
Too
But yeah,
much.
it's just Beyonce didn't win much. Or did she win anything? Country
I
Music
don't
Awards, I can't even. I see you, you're trash. Okay. But yeah, I miss when the VMAs I feel like the VMAs was where like that year's pop culture history would get like stamped, right?
yeah,
Like Christina Aguilera giving M&Ms. Oh, that was at the MTV Music Awards, maybe.
that was.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that was
that was
VMAs.
VMAs.
That
Am I
was
right?
VMAs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
VMAs
because
are the MTV
yes.
Music Awards.
Sorry, duh, brain
Are you okay?
fart.
Is your
Yeah,
brain
literally, I
okay?
was like,
Listen, it's been a long week.
yeah,
It's been a long week.
brain fart. But anyway, yeah, Christina Aguilera right at the top of her and Eminem's beef, having to give him an award. I miss
Wild.
when the
Just wild.
VMAs were messy. That's all I'll say. Ugh.
Yes. You
Yeah.
like Kanye stepping up while Taylor's accepting her award. Like they're like the VMAs used to be so
That's what
messy.
I'm saying.
And like I remember watching that live and being like, I wasn't even a Swiftie then. I was watching because Panic at the Disco was
Yep.
nominated.
Oh
But
my god,
it's
I can't
fine.
believe Texas Hold'em lost Song of the Year. Sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Espresso got Song of the Year. It should have gotten
Yeah.
Song of the Summer. And then like
Mhm.
best song could have been I don't know. Anyways, that's
Yeah.
all about the VMAs. And
Mhm.
the Emmys are coming up this weekend, so maybe there'll be some mess for next week.
Yeah,
But we
can't wait.
We will see. Are you ready for an anonymous,
Let's
Sasha?
do it. Oh, and for folks that don't know, every week, yes, when even if we're not on video, like I said, we're on
We're
audio.
still here.
Yes, we host listener submitted mess. And it is so fun because you all submit your drama to us. Okay? It's the best thing. We love our messengers. And if you remember something, make sure it's in the description. Just
Yes.
send us your mess.
It's
Thank you.
tinyurl.com/messmagnets. Please submit your
Period.
mess. We always are looking for more. But anyways, without
Okay.
further ado,
Thank
here's
you.
this
Oh,
week's
also
anonymous.
sorry. Before we go to anonymous, I'm so sorry I forgot.
How dare
Shannon
you?
Sharp, Wow Boy.
Oh, yeah, here's the thing. My personal theory on that is that he actually was not intending to go live, but was maybe
He
intending to take
lied.
a video without permission and accidentally went live instead of taking the video.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
I actually have a more sinister theory because I listened to his podcast Nightcap. And he, first his team was like, "Oh, we've been hacked." Baby, that was you. Those grunts, them
No, it
southern
was him.
grunts, it was you. So, I like, how do people grunt in an accent? I don't know, but he did it. And anyway, the thing is, I don't know if you know, but there were rumors, which is this whole thing is gross. I want to start with that. But there were rumors about him being gay, I guess. And it felt like this was a on purpose to dispel
Um,
the rumors because
Yikes.
on the podcast, I believe Ocho Cinco says this. He's like, well, I'm glad it was a Michelle and not a Michael. So, and they like immediately went live on purpose that night to talk about it. Again,
Yikes.
nightcap is a thing that happens all the time. I know. All I'm saying is it just there's weird homophobia slash him just being allegedly bad at technology. It's very messy.
Mhm.
And we just need to be aware when celebrities, do celebrity things and we just, leave it as, oh, it's funny. PR teams be working. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
so
I just
we
needed
might
to.
or might not hear anything else about that.
Yeah. Well, they're doing a roast of Shannon Sharp. Again, how has that come up? So, yeah,
No, it's
very interesting.
no. Okay, let's get into anonymous
Mhm.
now. So our messenger is
Yes.
a mom of 3 young kids, and her husband is disabled, so she has a lot of stress on her plate. So feeling for our messenger here. And so since the start of this year, she has started to going to the local karaoke bar that she used to go to in her early and mid 20s to blow off some steam and remember that she's an adult. She can go solo. She only goes solo and she can't plan ahead as she can only go when the kid's bedtime and her husband's like feeling okay and her energy levels line up perfectly, right? So it's
Mhm.
like when the stars align, she goes to the karaoke bar by herself.
Yes.
The most recent time was about a month ago. And she went on a Friday night after all the kids were asleep, and she felt like she deserved to just go belt out a song or two to a dark room of strangers. I love going to karaoke, so I
Mhm.
love this for you, messenger. So our messenger walks into the bar and chooses to sit at the corner of the bar because it's the quote safest place to sit as a solo woman who
Yeah.
doesn't like really know how to interact with groups of people at the bar scene.
Fair.
Our messenger orders Shirley Temple to just chill in her own bubble at the bar. So
Mhm.
she's sitting between 2 older guys. The guy to the left is about 25 plus years older than her, and the guy to the right is about like 35 plus years older. The 25 plus year guy to the left introduces himself as John and asks, like, "Oh, did you come in like a month ago?" And so I guess he remembers her from coming in alone. And he says, "Oh, I'm a retired electrician." Our messenger shares that she's a math teacher,
Okay.
and she very quickly gets the vibe that he is interested romantically. Because John's sharing about all the different schools he's worked in, how teachers appreciated his work, uh, like brings up all these other like topics that you bring up when you're trying to like create a connection.
Fair,
And
fair, fair.
there was nothing like clearly flirtatious. So she's like, okay, it's fine. I can talk to him, but like nothing
Mhm.
inappropriate's happening. Okay. So John's name is called to sing at karaoke. And he is singing the song Shiver by Ed Sheeran.
Mhm.
Our
Okay.
messenger cheers for him like she does for everyone else, turns back to her drink.
Yes.
And then at the pre-chorus, she hears him louder than before suddenly. And he is now off the stage, standing 3 inches away from our messenger and singing the following lyrics directly to her. I want to be that guy. I want to kiss your eyes. I want to drink that smile. I want to feel like my soul's on fire. I want to stay up all day and all night. Yeah, you got me singing like.
I literally, you can't even leave. You can't leave.
It's so
Fight or
she's right,
flight,
like,
baby, I'm
yeah,
freeze.
you're frozen in that situation. So by like the 5th word, she like at first she was like kind of laughing uncomfortably. And at this point, she just like turns around and is sitting straight forward at the bar, like in shock. The female bartender's in front of her and like never really made direct eye contact, but you could see her like
Right.
fully grimacing before she recovers her poker face and just looks away.
Yeah.
And so by the time that pre-chorus part is over, John finally got the message and like moved away and stopped singing directly to her. But our messenger like could not stop just like staring at the TV. And so she could not tell you where he even went to because she was like so shocked and like weirded out. And so she's dreading the song ending because she doesn't want to sit next to him anymore. So it's so weird and uncomfortable.
Oh my God. Why? Why?
Yeah.
John, get your life together.
Literally, John, like enough. Thankfully, the karaoke gods smiled down on her as the next it was her song. And so
Thank
she
God.
sang Love Me Dead by Ludo next.
Okay, yes, queen.
And okay, get it, queen. And so by the time it was over, she went back to her spot to be with her drink. John made a comment or two about how other people's song choices are interesting because you can get exposed to music you don't normally listening to. And then thankfully, the even older guy sitting to her right strikes up a conversation with her about his great grandkids. Shout out to that guy.
Shout out to him.
So she leaves the bar to go to her car and get her jacket because she had one more song. But before she left, she asked the bartender to watch her drink and she put it behind the bar with a napkin over it. When she came back to the bar, she just pulled out her phone to do Wordle and John left shortly afterwards. So this was our messenger's most awkward night out that she's had since having kids. But on the plus side, she did an impromptu duet of Defying Gravity with a former coworker, which was
amazing.
Awesome. Love that.
The thing is, she's stronger than me.
Mm-hmm.
She's
I would have literally ran away.
There's no way in hell. And the thing is, the drinks, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't trust that this man ain't doing something to my alcohol. Or not, well, it's Shirley Temple. But to my drink. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't trust that person. That's wild.
Like, this is God's strongest soldier right here. What the hell, bro?
Literally, can you imagine? Like, I can't even imagine, like, even if it was someone that I, like, really, like, liked and was interested in, someone singing karaoke at me like that would make me deeply uncomfortable. So, I don't know how she made it through, but good for her.
I think my husband, maybe now, right? Like, but if we were first dating, like, I'm saying, even if we were boyfriend, girlfriend, and he's singing like that to me, I get so embarrassed. I don't,
Yeah.
I get very embarrassed in public. So, no. Don't do it to me.
Yeah. Ooh. So that's it. That is our anonymous. Shout out to our messenger. Thank you for sharing. If anyone else, if this brought up memories of like an embarrassing story or an awkward moment or just any like bar night drama, please send it to us. Again, tinyurl.com/messmagnets is the place to submit it. We need mess. We love mess. It would be great. The other thing you can do if you like this episode is you can go to your podcast listener of choice and leave us a 5-star rating and review. It really makes our day when we can see that people are enjoying the episodes and it helps new people to find the show so that we can keep making it and Rob doesn't cancel us. We did get 2 5-star reviews this time. Which they actually I think came in before we recorded last time, but they didn't show up for me on Chartable because I can't see American ones before. Anyways, Huckleberry Paradise gave 5 stars and says, I gave a 5-star review with 5-star emojis. Thank you. And then Shrinking Violet gave 5 stars with that says, you make me laugh so hard, 5 stars. They say, very enjoyable and funny. I am not in your demographic. I'm 65. But even though sometimes I don't know who you are talking about, it just doesn't matter because your back and forth banter about them is hysterical. Guest hosts are great, but cannot match the chemistry of you two together. You bring out the fun side in each other. Keep it going.
Thank you,
Shrinking Violet 123. We appreciate it. 65 is in our demographic.
Yeah, you are a girly. That's all that matters. And anyone can be a girly. Okay, it's not gender.
Everyone is in our demographic as long as you are interested in mess.
Mhm.
Period.
That's all I'm saying. That's our thing. We love it. So we are excited. And with that, thank you everyone for listening. Again, tell us in the comments, what is your favorite thing about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? I'm sure we missed stuff, but listen, here we are. All right, we're trying to hit the highlights.
Yeah, it's one podcast. We can't hit every single thing that happened. We just can't.
Yeah, and we hope you enjoyed. Leave us a like here as well. And with that, thank you everyone for listening. Kirsten, where can the people find you?
Yes, so I mean, the only other thing I've got going on this week, the people will find both of us. If you are a patron of Rob Has a Podcast, Sasha and I will be guests on the Slop this week, talking about all of the silly leftover mess from Big Brother this week with Rob and Chappelle. I think pretty low chances of that one getting released to the public because we don't know how to act. But it's behind the paywall, as it should be, and you are not going to want to miss that. You can also follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, including twitch.tv/Kirsten Said What. That's Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, all of it. Kirsten Said What. Sasha, what about you?
Yes. And of course, for me, right here on the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube channel, Chappelle and I are wrapping up our coverage of Below Deck Med. Honestly, such a fun episode. Y'all need to check this last one out, especially if you like toxic relationships, because that's all we talk about. I swear to God. And of course, Mike Bloom and I are talking to your favorite reality TV stars about their favorite scripted shows. So this week we had Danny Butler from The Amazing Race to talk about his TV journey and his life and where does he go. And here's the thing, Kirsten, he drops a bomb at the last minute that he watches Riverdale. Yeah. So funny. And we were like, what? It's already hour and we're wrapping up. What the hell? So we're excited. We're gonna maybe bring him back to talk about all of this craziness. So check out all of that on We Know Scripted TV's podcast feed or YouTube feed. So check out TV for real. And for everything else I'm doing, just follow me on Twitter at funsize_04. Thank you everyone for listening. Bye.